All right, welcome back from the beach to the bar. No guests today. It's just the boys and the girls. Honestly, it's usually a little bit crazier when we do it that way. Because today we're talking. Because today we're taking you somewhere most people only see on TV, inside the system, and then putting Vegas's messiest situations on trial. Real stories, real headlines, and later you're the jury. We'll call it law just a case or no case. And there's money on the table because in this firm, we don't just get you fixed, we get you paid. Let's go. All right, first one up, we're going to talk about prison life and politics.
Lovely.
It's always a fun fucking topic, huh?
That's good.
All right, so actually, that's Sage intro, not Ben intro.
And also, guys, sorry, they had mentioned there was a lot, they can see a lot of reading.
Okay.
You can read it and look up talking to the camera.
Does that say sissage?
I don't usually use it. Oh, and by the way, guys, we'll put this on too. If you notice, one of us has a brown chair. That's because this badass likes to break chairs. I think we're 10 at least in the last week.
He's not a fat ass, he's just aggressive.
Yes.
Okay, so you two see a side?
Of Vegas.
You two see a side. Was look at how it's spelled.
You two see a side of Vegas.
Okay, you two
See a
see a
side.
side of Vegas. Most as punctuation, that's why. You two, Ben and Jess, see a side of Vegas most people only get to see from movies. What actually happens after a verdict. So let's take a peek inside.
Sage is making fun of Kyle because Kyle, our lovely producer, is Pinoy, Filipino, and English is a second language. So Sage is making fun of a guy who's thinking English is a second language.
Glory. That's a jury.
Anyways, I'm Asian
like
too.
you anyways.
Yeah, exactly. So let's take people inside. Not the Hollywood version, but the real one.
All right.
All right, here we go.
I'm not even gonna look. Just fire away, and then I'll answer.
Okay. So the day someone's sentenced, people walk through what physically happens next. Where do they actually go first?
Oh, well, I mean, here's the thing. After sentencing, it's not like you go straight to prison. You know, usually if you're sentenced to prison, the way it works is if it's a guilty verdict at trial, typically you get hooked up, meaning you get put in custody. If you're in custody, you're already in custody, but they just put you back in the county jail, which is Clark County Detention Center, and you stay there. Usually it's a couple of weeks before they ship you off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have to wait for the judgment of convictions to be signed by the judge saying what you were sentenced to. If you were sentenced to a term of imprisonment, they got to get all the paperwork, and then they ship you upstate to either Indian Springs.
Well, they switched it up. So like High Desert, maximum security one. There's Ely. There's Southern Desert. Yeah. But yeah, now High Desert is now maximum security. Used to be Ely. What's the other one?
Lovelock.
Max?
Lovelock.
Hmm.
Lovelock's where they put the famous people in the kitty diddlers.
Yep.
Interesting.
And then once you get up there, if you are sentenced to a term of prison, you are put in what is called the fish tank bowl. That's where everyone goes to classify you. They can't basically put rival gang members in the same unit, same cell block. They have to see what your classification is, depending on what you were convicted of.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a violent crime, if it's a non-violent crime, if it's a sex crime, they separate everyone because they don't want.
So you don't go into general P, right?
No, you're not going to
Don't go to general pop.
Yeah, you got to get classified. Once they classify you, that sticks with you forever. They send you out. What's funny is like out here is pretty race neutral, but I do a couple of cases in California every now and then. I did a murder trial out there. Some dude like killed a guy after the BET Awards at the NBA All-Star game or something like that. But in LA jail, it's crazy because if you walk in the back and you can't have your phone, otherwise I would have taken a photo. But they literally have whites, blacks, others. They have them labeled in the holding cells so that they separate them at LA in Twin Towers, which is the county jail. They separate them instantly as soon as you get there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ben, you're doing a lot of tap.
Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't break it.
Speaking of like sentencing, so I know a lot of people, you have like they say 30 to 40 or whatever. How does a system decide max versus minimum
Or medium.
or medium?
Well, a couple of ways. A, it's based on the facts of the case. B, it's based on your criminal history. C, it's based on the skill of your lawyer. But a lot of those go into it. There's some judges where they're just going to max you out right away. There are other judges where they give you a chance. But the facts play a big role. All three of those things play a big role.
Yeah, and the judges are limited by what the statute calls for under
Whatever
the
sentencing range.
right. There's a sentencing guideline on exact charges you were convicted of, and the judge can't go over that. But like Ben was saying, if you're maxed out, it means under the statute for the crime that you're charged with or convicted of, the max is the maximum amount a judge could sentence you to prison for. Minimum would be obviously the exact opposite. The minimum amount a judge could sentence you for under that exact charge.
Now, depending, I know sometimes people don't do they have to do the minimum prison time, or is there possibilities that they're able to get out before the
Like
minimum?
good behavior.
Yeah, I mean, the way it works is this, and it's like kind of tactical, but there's like in Nevada, there's A, B, C, D, and E felonies. E felonies are automatic mandatory probation, so you don't have to worry about prison with those. And A is the most serious, E is the least serious. D felonies, C felonies, you can be sentenced to, say, a C felony typically is a 1 to 5 year sentencing range. So on a C felony, say you got a max sentence. A max sentence on a 1 to 5 is a 24 to 60 year sentence, so 2 to 5 years. And the way it works is on a C, D felony, you can get 40% off the front and back end. So on a 24 to 60 month sentence, you could get 40% off the 24. Okay, so 40% off the 24. Roughly, you figure it out, 18 months. Yeah. So you can get out in 17 months as opposed to the 2 years. Now, on a B or A felony, they won't give you that 40% off the front end. So say on a B felony, you got a 2 to 5 year sentence. You would have to do that 2 years before you'd be eligible for parole. But you are always entitled to the 40% on the back end. So like people always talk about it, for instance, when you get an 8 to 20 year sentence, that 20 is actually 12 years because you're taking 40% off the back, and 40% off of 20 years is 8 years. So you do on an 8 to 20 year sentence, it's actually an 8 to 12 year sentence.
Oh, okay.
And then that lower number is the minimum amount of time you have to do before you hit boards. And what that means is boards is the parole.
Yeah.
And they decide whether or not you have been rehabilitated to the extent you can go out into the public again. But that bottom number is usually the lowest amount of time you have to do before you get in front of a parole board.
Yeah.
And they can deny you.
Yeah.
Like we saw with the Henry Ruggs case.
Yeah.
Was it 3 to 10?
Yeah.
He got a 3 to 10.
3 to 10. Yeah. Henry Ruggs was the former Raider wide receiver that was convicted of DUI causing death for killing a young woman and her dog.
And her dog.
Big deal. He was sentenced to a 3 to 10 year term. So he was up for parole, I believe, like a month ago?
Month or two, yeah.
Yeah, and the parole board denied it, which was...
And once again, on a 3 to 10 year sentence, because you're getting that 40% off the back end, the most time he'll do is 6 years.
Right. If he's the worst inmate, if he got reprimanded over and over again, yeah, the most he can do.
Well, they can take a good time away to where you do more, but it's nearly impossible.
Yeah.
To like...
I actually have one guy that got maxed out.
I had one too. Same thing. Yeah, like he was such a pro.
He got a 2 to 10 and he did all 10 years.
How does that affect a 10 to life?
10 to life, it's just parole eligibility is at 10 years, but like obviously with a life sentence, you're on parole for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So most people, you're not getting down to 10. In California, what's interesting is if you get a 2 life sentence on a murder case in California, there's virtually no chance of parole. If you look at the parole board for murders in California, it's almost zero for letting people out on murder cases. Typically, the way people get out on murder cases is compassionate release, where you're near the end of your life, you're about to die. That's when they'll let them out. But before then, it's rare. Very rare, like less than 1%.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Well, I know we kind of uh was speaking on it just a little bit, but why does it matter so much which facility you land in? Like when as talking of safety programs, like
It depends. Like one of the things is for instance, Lovelock, which is where the sex offenders go.
yeah,
You're not going to have the same level of programming or access to programming that you would at a medium or different or a lower security jail. So wherever they process you to, you don't necessarily have the access because you can do certain programs to lower your good, to get more good time and things like that. Like in the federal system, Fed's crazy because you do 85% of your time.
Yeah.
So you only get 15% off.
If you're doing Fed time, you're doing almost all of the time you guys
But
to.
in the Fed system, there's something called RDAP, which is a drug treatment program. And if you qualify for that, that actually will give you, I think, another, it's been a minute, but probably 15 to 20% off.
Yeah.
So there are certain programs that you can take advantage of in the state and federal system. Place like Lovelock, they don't give you as many opportunities. And also High Desert is now the high security
yeah.
prison or the max security prison. They won't give you the same programming opportunities that they will other places.
Okay, so determining on which facility going is it mostly based on based on the crimes that they have been committed, or like what determines them going to a certain facility?
Well, it once again, it depends.
Security level.
If you're talking to feds, your attorney has a lot of wiggle room to where you go. Because what the feds like to do is, because it's a federal crime, you could be charged. For instance, I have a client who's based in Vegas, is charged out of Miami. When it comes time to do time, what they like to do is have you within 50 to 75 miles of your family. So he'd probably come to Arizona to do his time as opposed to doing it in Florida.
Yeah. If I recall, I think they give you can list 2 options of which facility you want to go.
There's more than that, but yeah, usually you can steer it through
But
the
that's
air.
federal, state.
State, you do it in
State,
state.
you do it, yeah, and it's like all those things factor in your classification. Are you a gang member? How many priors do you have?
Violent offender,
Yeah,
all of that. But yeah, if you're affiliated with some gang, they're not going to want to throw you into a facility that has the rival gang, or a lot of members of your own gang because they want to keep the trouble down.
yeah.
It all depends on what you were convicted of.
Can you, as lawyers, influence where a client lands?
Not in the state system.
Yeah, state no, feds yes. You can request a certain location, but it's not guaranteed. But yeah, in the feds, they do. They're more amenable to placing you in a facility that's close to family members or whatever you request.
We'll dig a little bit deeper into the prison life. I'm not sure if you guys know. Well, we're gonna pick your guys' brains.
We know all.
What happens to prisoners if they get labeled as a snitch?
Not what people think. Like, it's funny. I had a guy who was he represented himself, which I never recommend, but whatever. So I was like his standby counsel. So I'd sit there and he was charged with murder. I think he ended up getting 28 to life. But he was in on a prior case, like a robbery or something like that.
Yeah.
He was actually housed in the same unit as his snitch. And it's like, it's not what people think. They're not, I mean, in the prison gang life,
Yeah.
if you're with a snitch, there's probably going to be some issues. But if you're just like, unaffiliated and you're in there, they're not necessarily trying to keep your snitch away from you.
Yeah, it's usually more the gang lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like if you're in a gang, it's a little bit more serious if you're labeled a snitch.
Then in the Fed system, it's a bigger deal too. They actually, what you get before your sentence is called a PSI, your pre-sentence investigation. And in the federal system, you have to show your PSI to the people in your unit,
States too.
to make sure that you're not a snitch.
Yeah. So whatever client we have that gets sent to prison, they have to have that PSI with them when they go into the fish tank, because the other inmates will check your paperwork to make sure you're not a rapist, you're not a snitch, you're
Don't
not
beat
a
women.
or Katie Zidler, you don't beat women. Yeah. So there's this hierarchy in prison where they have their own set of rules. And if you fall into this category where you are a wife beater, you had a crime against children, you're a snitch, there's a red mark on you.
Yeah, you're of a lesser status.
You're not you're probably going to be in ISO or PC for a lot of your term.
So is it a thing for them to have falsified papers though? To show
You can, let's just say, selectively edit with the help of the prosecutor in certain situations to make sure that the PSI reflects a clean,
Clean sheet.
yeah.
I think because I had heard that people had purchased falsified.
Like inmates?
I'm sure they can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's a whole
there's a
aid economy.
you can, like, you ever see the movie Shawshank Redemption? I know you have. No, because you're old. There's a guy, Morgan Freeman plays a guy named Red, and he's the guy that can get you anything in prison. And that happens a lot. Yeah, in prison. There's a guy you can go to. There are multiple guys that can get you cigarettes,
He's a
drugs.
guy that has a guy.
He's a guy that can get you the goods from the outside.
I do know that there are certain COs. I know one guy, I don't know who specifically he is, but there's one guy up north who he sells cell phones to inmates at $500 a pop. And yeah, he has a good little business up there.
It's crazy. I've had, I don't know if we should say.
How do they transfer those funds?
Shawshank.
How they transfer the funds? You have your commissary,
Yeah.
and things like that.
So when you're an inmate in prison or the county jail, family members and friends can put money on your books.
Right.
That means is you can give them access to kind of a bank account.
But
And
usually
they
with
can,
somebody like a CO, somebody's getting cash on the outside.
oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you're trying to heal,
So that was like, how did they transfer from their books to a CO without?
oh, I don't know. Yeah. If you're doing it legally, there's something called putting money on their books, and family members and friends can put money on an account for an inmate.
actually looking
to
at very
calls to buy snacks at the commissary.
Right.
But if you're trying to get illegal things, yeah, that's usually from a CO bringing things in.
Okay. Interesting. That's very interesting. Okay. Moving on. Who would you bunk with? Cellmates, keep always, and protective custody. Keepaways. What did I say?
Always. Always. But cellmates, keepaways, and protective custody.
Well, cellies, it's assigned by the prison, and typically what they do is they try to keep like-minded people, together. You will have situations, especially with some of the mental health murderers, who I think recently, probably within the last year, there was one guy who didn't like having a cellie, and he had mental health issues. He already killed one person. They gave him a cellie, and he killed the guy within like 2 or 3 days.
Oh,
And it's like that's on the jail or on the prison because this dude, who this dude is. He has a track record of doing shit like this. And so when you do something like that, they put in the risk. Typically, they do try to put you with same or similar type folks. They don't try to put you newbie with newbie.
Yeah.
But they definitely put you with people who shouldn't cause you problems. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it doesn't.
Is it a thing to request a change?
You could try. It depends on if they like you or not. And that's another thing too. Like talking to COs can get you in trouble. You could be a prison snitch, and so if you're talking to the COs too much, that's a problem too. Yep.
So then, as of protective custody, how would that work? Is that safer necessarily?
I mean, it is, but you're fucking isolated.
Yeah. When you're in PC, you're in isolation, I think, for 23 hours out of the day.
Depending on, but
Depending on the facility, you only get 1 hour to
Exercise.
do recreational, to do grooming or take a bath, brush your teeth.
and the only human contact outside of COs you have is during that hour. What they do is they'll put you in a yard, but it's individual. Say there's like a size of a tennis court, right?
Yeah.
They divide it into 4 separate things, and they'd have like fencing.
Yeah.
And so you can talk to the 4 guys because they're all around, or the other 3 guys because they're all around.
Through a fence.
But that's your only human contact.
And that's so you typically don't want to be in PC because it just messes your head, but that's the most, I guess, safest place to be if you're a snitch or yeah.
I will tell you, one of the things most people don't know is when you're a man in prison, it's etiquette to always sit down when you pee. It's always etiquette.
Yeah.
When you take a deuce, you instantly flush.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other guy doesn't have to sit in your stink, or there's no splash from pee. There's a whole etiquette to it.
Because those cells are small. AI 12, those toilets are right next to the bed. So yeah, etiquette is if you have a cellie, You sit down as a guy to pee because you don't want it splashing everywhere, and they're generally pretty clean with that place because their house. Yeah, that's where they live.
And that's like, when you're in prison, you don't have control over much. You know what I mean? So the things you do have control over are very, very fucking big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
It's a courtesy.
It is.
Courtesy plus land.
I'm not bad.
Yeah.
Kurt's blush. Anthony's telling us that his dad's a felon.
Yeah, it's
Thanks.
You got to scroll out, buddy.
yeah. Like there's like I don't know. There's a bunch of random shit that like I never realized that I do it because it was just like taught to you. You know, oh, that's why we do that.
I'm gonna have you guys explain some prison politics to someone who's only seen it on TV.
You've been there.
So what's real and what's Hollywood? I guess it's very different from obviously when people don't know what prison is like inside. They only know what it's in from movies.
Well, I mean, give us an example.
So pick a side.
Is that
Pretty sus.
So pick a side. So do you have to go with the Aryan Brotherhood? Do you have to go?
Aryan Warriors. Come on.
Sorry.
Like MA, Aryan Warriors. What do you call it? Fucking.
I have no idea.
Sunday
what
some more.
you're talking
No, SOS. Crazy bastards. No, we're fine. Dude, why am I doing it?
Daniels, Soranios.
No, they all go under MA when they're in.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What do you say? Do you have to be in a game?
No,
No.
Is that we don't?
No.
I'd say a large part of people that go to prison aren't in gangs. You just keep your fucking head down.
To
You
yourself, you don't start trouble.
I think yeah, so I guess like
But there are gangs there. I mean,
Yeah.
like,
that's the thing. Like on movies, it's gang and it's rival and it's very like your guys are kind of like against each other in a way.
Well, here's the thing. Like, the MA is the Latino gang. And when you're out, there's Norteños, Sureños, shit like that. But when you're in, it's La MA. And so a lot of your outside gang affiliations don't count while you're in.
Yeah.
So La MA is probably the most prevalent and powerful gang.
Yeah.
One of the things that happened, I don't even know if I'm talking out of school now, but they used to use the A-dubs, the Aryan Warriors, to distribute drugs and things like that. So the A-dubs were like kind of a middleman, for lack of a better term. Lame just decided probably a year or two ago that they were going to cut out the middleman. So there were a couple of shot callers for A-dubs who were in a block with like 30 members of La MA. And they just like were cool with them because they used to be their distributors, right?
Yeah.
But they decided to cut them out. So all of a sudden, like the whole leadership of A-dubs,
they were
had
unalived.
Abby's party.
They were unalived.
Yeah.
This just happened,
I thought it was about a year.
Yeah, about a year ago.
Yeah, but
It was like 3 deaths at High Desert.
they stabbed the shit.
There was like 30 guys that, and it's interesting to read how they armed themselves and like the shiv stuff that is real. Like people, inmates will make sharp objects from various items that they have in the prison system.
Springs in the fucking bed, wind brushes.
Right, and when you're reading the report of what happened that day in prison, where the 3 Aryan warriors were killed, the other guys were wearing like books that they got from.
It was like their body armor.
Yeah, they use magazines and books as body armor.
Wow.
So
That's
It's kind of it's
for the access that they have
Yeah.
to things, like
to
it's like
learn how to use. They use what's available. They use books, magazines as body armor.
And if somebody's going to fight, they always have their shoes on. Nobody goes into a fight barefoot.
For hair gel, they use toothpaste and hand soap.
Mm-hmm.
But why is
I
that?
know so much.
I don't know.
Just
I don't know why they wear shoes. People feel more stable in shoes, I guess. I mean, if you look at most pro fighters, they're fighting barefoot. So, like, I don't get it. But yeah, no, they wear shoes.
Yeah.
That's a sign. Something's going down.
So what about respect on people's property? Like, I heard of a story where somebody went in and was messing with somebody's radio.
Oh, you don't do that shit.
Oh yeah, you don't mess with anyone. It's kind of like
And then they kind of have to, though, but they have to set the boundary and make the guy.
Otherwise, you're a punk.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
you can't be seen as someone that's going to be walked over because everyone's going to do it. So yeah, you got to step up.
And that's why you never fucking owe anybody. If you owe somebody in prison,
Yeah.
you're done. Yeah,
Wow.
there are certain things you just don't do. And people who come in where their family regularly puts money on the books and they get a lot of money, you better keep that shit to yourself, because if all of a sudden you're ordering a bunch of commissary, somebody's going to be your friend, and all of a sudden you're going to be somebody's bitch. So you always got to be quiet. Like I said, there's not a lot of control you have, but the control they do have, they're very, very protective of it.
Interesting. How do some inmates get away with having a phone and social media accounts? Because I've seen TikToks where they're inmates like in their cell making a TikTok dancing. Like, do they get away with that? Like,
You just
Just-
hide your phone, and hopefully your cell doesn't get, turned up.
yeah, because I'm like, if it's on social media, then you're kind of just
Who's that dude? There was a pimp back in the day.
yeah, like look like this.
Well, this thing is
Crazy.
some of these you don't know if they're lower level, like low security facilities. It could be a halfway house, but this stuff is weird because that's clearly a detention center, at least.
Can they have jewelry?
Not supposed to.
Oh. Well, there's I guess so. There's a lot of things that they're not supposed to have, but they
Some are able to actually get tablets because like the prison allows it.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's different because that stuff's monitored.
Yeah.
Like that stuff's monitored. Like the tablets and the stuff like that for emails and stuff.
Yeah.
That's okay. Okay.
And they don't have free range of the internet. Like
Yeah,
it's
there's no
capped
more-
on-
And
yeah.
some of them can make calls on their tablets.
No. You can video FaceTime people.
Yeah.
But like this stuff, it's probably all contraband.
Yeah.
But they
But like
to-
Ben was saying earlier, how do they get away with it? They have COs that help them.
well, not that they get away with it because they're probably gonna be charged when they post this stuff. But
So
the
that's-
way it gets in are the COs.
Well, and that's the thing. If you're friendly with the COs and they don't want to get popped, they might say, "Hey, your cell's going to get flipped. So how about your shit?
Yeah.
Be somewhere else."
Yeah, they'll get a little warning saying, hey, they're gonna flip cells today. And flip cells means they're gonna go in there and literally flip your cell from top to bottom to see if there's any contraband, whether it be shivs, phones, drugs, anything.
And if they flip your cell and take you down to state, what does that mean?
Well, it just means you're going into ISO.
So yeah, you'll get new charges. You'll have a new felony.
But what basic necessities are you allowed in prison?
Depends what facility.
Yeah. I mean, you're allowed. Obviously, they love ramen. They love hot Cheetos. They love.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
I
Yeah.
love me some hot.
I know. Oh, so you're saying we're in prison? So that's what this is.
these are seconds. It was sweet.
So if they do get caught with contraband, is that an additional charge?
Well,
or
there's two ways they can go. They can take away your good time, like we talked about.
okay.
And so you can get a sanction in the prison.
Yeah.
Or they can, depending on the situation, charge you.
Yeah. Usually if it's a first offense, it's a write-up, it's a warning.
And they
like
take
they'll
it, right?
take away.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll confiscate it. They'll take away any good time credits you have. But if you're a repeat offender, yeah, they'll send it to the district attorney's office. For
No, JG's. AG is all prison cases.
really? Yeah. Oh, that's right. I used to work for them.
You did work for the AG's, brother. Oh, I forgot.
I don't know if they would know that, but
I do.
okay. So obviously, speaking of more of, I guess gross too, but how would inmates release themselves?
Have satisfaction.
Yes,
There's a couple ways. Okay.
is that
Besides just,
You will find, actually, what's funny is in the female system, people are in there for a decent amount of time. Like, they'll get hooked up really early, like girlfriends,
Yeah.
really early. And that girlfriend's kind of like your mama, your protector, watches out for you, things like that. So that's more of the women's system, and they kind of turn a blind eye to it. In the men's system, like, this is a terrible thing to say, but up at Ely, I know this for a fact, there were a husband and wife who were COs, and the husband didn't know it, but the wife used to get off on having inmates bang her, like, in certain areas. And it went on for years before she finally got caught, and her husband had no idea. But one way they get off is through COs. Another way they get off is through cells. They can have internet access and do things like that through cell phones. Another thing they do is there's actually a cottage industry. There are dudes in prison who are such good artists that they will, like, draw naked ladies and draw like porn scenes and stuff like that. And they'll sell them.
Yeah.
You will also see, and this is rare nowadays, but you'll also see, if you see a dude with a tattoo of a naked lady on his back, he's pretty much a bitch. Because what the guys do is they'll bend them over, they have the naked lady, and then they're doing their business while looking at the tattoo of the naked lady.
I should get that removed then.
It's not a naked lady. It's ticked about
Self-portrait. My hair down.
Sex
It's my-
itself is not allowed.
You are a ward of the state, so you do not have the ability to consent.
And there is
not allowed.
there is
It's a crime, actually. Yeah,
It-
we're not allowed to consent.
I've seen charges with inmates having sexual encounters with each other. Yeah.
Wow.
That's what she was saying. It's not allowed, but it happens.
Yes. Yeah. It happens.
I mean, come on, man. We're human. We're all sexual beings. We all have urges. Shit happens. You know, and there are guys that'll do shit in prison that as soon as they get out, they'd never do it again in their life.
That's what I say.
So, kind of moving off to sentencing, like number versus the reality. So, I know that there's a trial tax quotation. Is that real? You get hit harder for going to trial instead of taking a plea?
Well,
Not necessary.
trial tax, yeah. I mean, it's, yeah, like Cam says, it's not necessarily true. There are certain judges who will hammer you if you go to trial.
Yeah.
Usually the offer is better before trial than at sentencing.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, the last trial I did, the guy was offered 2 counts of 2 to 20 to run concurrent. So that means they run at the same time. Concurrent means same time. Consecutive means you do 1 2 to 20, then you do the other 2 to 20 back to back. He was offered 2 2 to 20s concurrent, and he wanted to go to trial. It was not the best case, but it wasn't the worst case.
Yeah.
They had DNA, prior bad acts that this gentleman had done come in as evidence because that's kind of the law of the land now. He hasn't been sentenced yet, but I do expect him to get something to life as opposed to the, you know, the max he would have done is 12 years.
Yeah.
But now he's looking at something to life.
And the reason there's a so-called trial tax is when you lose a trial, it opens up, it gives the judge discretion to sentence you whatever they want
Within the range.
within the range of the statute. And the reason why there's plea negotiations or plea agreements is everyone is trying to avoid trial
Yeah.
because it's going to cost the state a lot of money to try these guys.
Yeah.
So to not do that, there's plea agreements, and the plea negotiations are usually less than what you could be hit if you went to trial, lost on every count. Then you're looking at years and years and years.
And one of the things too is you got to realize the judge is sitting there during trial. Like if the judge can read a police report and then the state, like at a plea, you know, the judge reads a police report, the state argues for something. You as a defense attorney can suggest the facts aren't as harsh as they are.
Yeah.
But when you have a witness up there telling what happened and the judge hears what that witness says, like that's going to sit with the judge at the time of sentencing because they're going to be like, yo, this is what I heard. This is what I think. And so your attorney's ability to sway the facts, color the facts in your favor kind of goes out the window at that point. So the judge isn't necessarily inclined to do the things that need to be done.
Well, and ultimately the judges they're human, so it's going to be based on how they feel about it too.
100%.
I mean,
We've talked
technically not
this-
supposed to, but you know they're supposed to be unbiased. But I mean,
Yeah.
I think everybody's biased at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. How would the trial tax apply to a retrial?
Well, here's the thing about retrials is they already know your defense, right? You know, you've already done it once. You can't really change your defense because we're tied to the testimony we have. So all the DA does or all the prosecution does in this situation with a retrial is they gear it towards the defense you have. And so one of the things people don't realize is like, yeah, we might have been good enough to get you a mistrial, but you should probably take a deal.
Yeah.
Because everything they fucked up on or every mistake they made, they'll correct it by the next time around.
Yeah.
And all the things you used go out the window and you're still tied to the story that your guy gave because you can't change it.
Right.
Ethically, you're tied to the story he gave. He gave it under oath. So you're stuck with what you got.
And good defense attorneys, our job is to poke holes in the prosecution's case. And the first go around, you can kind of surprise them with some kind of events, gotcha, and you poke holes in their case. But if it's retried, they know what you're gonna do, and so it makes it a lot harder.
I always say if you get a hung jury or something like that, you should take a deal.
Oh yeah.
Didn't you, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be, but didn't you then have a case that the guy took a plea deal at the last minute and it was actually a not guilty
Yes.
verdict?
Yes.
I don't know ethically if I should talk about it, but I will. So yeah,
You don't have to name names.
no, what it was, this guy was charged with attempt murder. They offered him 8 to 20 beforehand. It was attempt murder with use of a deadly weapon, which is 8 to 20 plus an additional, or it's a 2 to 20 plus an additional 1 to 20 consecutive. So it's a 3 to 40-year sentence. They offered him an 8 to 20 before. So that, got rid of the other 8 to 20. We went to trial. I think that was the best closing I ever did in my life. And I explained how in different communities, there's different standards. And so when you apply the standards of one community to another, it's not necessarily applicable. And the long and short of it, the DAs knew I kicked their ass. And my guy didn't know what was going on. And so he was a little bit worried, and he said, yo, I'll take the deal. And the jury was out deliberating. And so while the jury's out deliberating, he comes back in and they give him the deal. And so he pleads and he accepts guilt. And then the jury walks in, they send him back to the jail because he had taken his deal and he's going to plead. The jury had come back and they were not guilty. But because he had admitted guilt and already pled, that not guilty didn't matter anymore.
And how did that conversation go with your?
He did not tell him.
Did not have the heart.
I would have told him because only because he was a very, very
He was a jerk.
yes. And I had
So Sage is like, I want to stick it just.
Tell him.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah,
And by the way.
it's because he was just, he didn't have much faith in Ben, I guess you could say. Like, he didn't think Ben was the right
Choice for an attorney.
yes. And I was like, haha, suck it.
In your face.
Yeah.
No, I just couldn't do that to the dude.
Yeah.
I can't, for the life of me, be like, yo, you got a not guilty.
And you have to tell them though that this is what's on the table. This is what they're.
If they're given an offer, but you got to realize this guy actually asked the DAs for the offer. He said, is the deal still on the table?
If there's an
And the
offer-
fact that they came back so fucking quickly with a yes should have told him something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't listen to me at that point.
it's an ethical duty.
Yeah, whenever you get an offer, you have to take.
You have to let your client know.
Yeah, and that's a personal injury too. If you get a shit offer from an insurance adjuster, which we always do, you got to tell your client and then say, but hold off, let us do our job. We just settled a case while we were in here for $600,000 that Big Daddy really liked Bobby. Big Daddy was a guy who came in, big white guy. He's kind of a goofball, a little bit different. He was not the best at treatment and things like that, but the accident was serious enough to where he had to get some surgeries, otherwise he was screwed. But yeah, the long and short of it is his treatment was spotty. He wasn't the best witness, but yeah, it got settled for $600,000. But when Bobby met him, the guy walks into our office, and Bobby's just being nice and saying hi, and the guy's like, "Oh, just call me Big Daddy." And he definitely had a thing for Bobby. It was
Was when he was walking out of the office. I was like, all right, young day, and he's like, it's not man, call me Big Daddy. And I was just like, oh. Elevator door closed. I just sitting there right when you said.
Bobby wanted to take a hot shower after that.
Because
With Big Daddy.
So I would say kind of we're gonna go like if it's facts or myths of prison life. Switching to the economy inside, like commissary. How do people pay what actually holds value? I guess if that.
I mean, well, you got obviously in commissary, you got to have cash on your books, and then you use that to buy stuff. You can trade it in prison, services, like for instance, the guy who draws naked lady pics, maybe you give him some of your commissary to cover it.
Stamp.
You're not supposed to.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to give other inmates access to your account but I mean, they buy it for them and give it to them.
Yeah, but there's always something, there's guys who do prison tats. You can pay them in commissary. Prison tats are like, it's kind of a wide range. I've seen some prison tats that are fucking amazing.
They're really good.
Like those guys are talented as
Really
shit.
good.
And they're working with like the most basic equipment you ever seen in your life. But then most of the prison tats are a little bit rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like practicing.
They have a lot of them have really nice handwriting.
Yes. Yes.
They have a lot of time to perfect it.
They do.
Mhm.
They do.
That wasn't a prison tattoo. It kind of wasn't. You weren't in prison.
No, but he just came out of prison.
Oh.
And he wrote it here.
Prison tat means you got.
How'd you pay? Did you pay him in blowies?
No, I'm sorry. Yes.
Not
Prison tap.
All right. Why'd you get a boner when you said that? Though?
I know. Why'd you cross your letters? What are you showing?
Weird, man.
Awkward. No, in order to be a prison tattoo, you have to get it in prison, sir. The first tattoo I got, I was 16 years old. I paid the guy with a fifth of Jack Daniels and $50. He did like 4 lines of meth and offered it to me. I'm like, no, man, I'm good. But then he put me in an electric chair that killed 6 people in Texas. I don't know how he got it. But then
Little Sparky.
he tattooed me in that fucking thing. It's fucking weird. Good story.
What holds the most value in prison?
Your word?
Yeah, respect.
That's a good question. So how?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, if people know that you're full of shit, you get no fucking respect. You're a rapo, no fucking respect. Be it women, be it killer.
Yep.
That's one thing. What's ironic is Lovelock holds most of the sex offenders, and it's like they'll still kill each other for being sex offenders. Like, motherfucker, what did you do?
Pot calling kettle.
Yeah.
How do people communicate with prisoners? Inside, outside, like even prisoners with other prisoners or doctors? Like kites, calls, visits.
Oh, well, like I said, there's a whole economy of cell phones, so there's cell phones. The typical thing is visitation. You got to go up there. You got to see them.
Does that cost money for like families to go and visit?
Well, I mean, you got to pay for your travel. You got to pay
Yeah.
for your hotel.
Just to see them? No.
Yeah, no. You do have to do a background check. They have to make sure you're not a felon because you're not allowed to associate with other felons and things of that nature. But yeah.
Interesting. So are kites, which are messages for
Kites are essentially, it's just a write-up telling like, hey, doc, I got a problem. I need to see you. Or, hey, prison warden, this CO abused, me in this fashion.
Yeah, and it's jail vernacular. It's flag kite. You basically send a letter to someone. Usually you contact your CO and say, hey, could I get some paper or something? I need to see the doctor, dentist, whatever it may be. If they're trying to contact the courts, they file a motion, which is always dodge.
So I know how some people have serious issues medical wise that have a hard time reaching the doctor. What are their options on receiving care?
Well, I mean, they always have a nurse, right? There's always a nurse. But the thing is like, they don't want to, they're trying to minimize their, economic exposure, I guess. And so they try to minimize a lot of things. And unfortunately, like, the standard of prison care is quite low. And you'll see, like, there was a gentleman who died, a couple of weeks ago. There were like 3 guys who died. They put it in the paper.
Mhm.
And one of the guys clearly had, some medical issues that they neglected, and homeboy died at EOC, I think. But no, they try to minimize it until there's no way. Obviously, the Constitution, the law of the state of the land is one thing, but just because it's a law doesn't necessarily mean that the person's following.
Yeah, and you got to imagine you're in prison,
Yeah.
so you're not going to get the best medical care.
Yeah.
Even if it's pressing, and it's life or death.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think I'm having a heart attack. Here's an asthma.
yeah, like it's kind of sad, but what do you do?
So essentially, you can just try and
That's all you can do. Document.
You get the CO. You say, hey, I need to see the nurse. There's an infirmary there. They have doctors on call. They can prescribe you certain medication. But again, most of these guys, I don't know about most, but a lot of these guys are in there for addiction issues. So they don't want to prescribe someone medication that could alter their mood or get them back on whatever.
And it's not like you go and pick up a script.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to get narcotics, if you're going to get a pain med or something like that, they give you every day they come and give it to you.
yeah.
Like, it's not like they're like, oh, take this bottle back to your fucking cell.
And they'll watch you,
Yep.
put it in your mouth to see if you all eat it.
Yeah.
Because you can't cheek it, you can't hide it under your tongue because people will stash it and then sell it. That's used as monetary,
Yeah.
Yeah.
some monetary
So it's a real thing for them to tell you to lift up your tongue. And
Oh yeah. You have to take it in front of them. You can't cheek it. You can't put it on your tongue.
One of the things they do when you first walk in, and it's true, is fucking make you bend over,
Yep.
spread your cheeks, and cough.
Spread your cheeks and cough.
Because they want to look at your butthole, see if anything like puckers.
Yep. They don't want anyone bringing in contraband through various the prison pocket. The prison pocket is what we call it.
So then what would be like, I guess if it would be out of the scope for the doctor that's in the prison for inmates to be transferred to the hospital?
Well, like for instance, say you have cancer, okay, and they diagnose you have cancer. Obviously, at that point, they have a duty to treat you. So you have chemo appointments, you have surgery. In those situations, they're going to transport you to the hospital. If you have some aftercare where you have to stay and you can't go back to the prison, they'll do it.
Yeah.
But you're under, security and things.
Guards are there.
so let's say that they neglect your basic needs. How hard is it to sue?
Incredibly.
Yeah.
Like, and the problem is you have to go through the Attorney General's office, which isn't necessarily equipped in a fashion to deal with the volume of those types of things. Just because you write a kite doesn't mean that the CO forwarded the kite on, so your documentation might be an issue. There's also the truth issues that come into play, like you're a convicted felon. Are we really going to believe you did X, Y, and Z?
There's
the phys-
lingering things. There's a bunch of. You can imagine how many letters they see. When I was working at the Attorney General's office, we did see a lot of just complaints, letters about treatment, housing, lifestyle, but it comes to a point where every inmate is complaining. So you're like, oh, another one.
And then there's always the Rastafarians. Everybody's a Rastafarian in prison.
Everyone has a religious belief that they can't eat certain things.
And they're pretty good about diet with stuff like that. The food's all shit, but like they are pretty good about like kosher.
They do accommodate for
religious needs.
legit religious values.
But like everybody wants to be a Rastafarian because then you can smoke weed.
Everyone changes the religion in prison. Everyone finds Jesus in prison too.
Well,
You can smoke weed in prison?
no, but they try to. They try to say that as part of the religious practice.
Their religion is a Rastafari.
And then there's certain Native Americans who try to get what do you call it, mescaline, right?
Yeah.
And they say as part of their tribal rituals is they have to be under the effect of a hallucinogen.
Yep.
So there's that.
Is there a movie out there that you guys said, yeah, that's what prison life is really like?
Get Hard.
That's an awesome movie.
Get hard, Wolf.
No, I mean like that one movie you fucking like that's so over the top. I can't say it. Was it American?
Oh, American Meat?
No, the other one.
Or
Blood In, Blood Out.
Blood and Blood Out. Oh, I love that movie.
That one's somewhat realistic. American Me is somewhat realistic, but a lot of it is like dated.
They're the same way.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they are the same movie, yeah. But like it's dated. It's the 80s versus now.
But the concept is kind of accurate. Blood In, Blood Out, American Me, Shawshank Redemption. It shows the hierarchy, the associations with different cliques and who you can talk to, who you can't talk to, how the COs treat inmates. If you look at it in a general picture, it's kind of accurate.
Yeah, but there's no movie that's like really spot.
It's a lot of it's all Hollywood. Yeah.
Yeah, Oz. You remember that show?
Yeah.
Totally not prison.
Prison Break. I actually never seen that show, but it looked good.
No, but what's funny too is like gangs have sanctions. They police their own too, and like Lame has like hard candy and soft candy. What it is if you commit an infraction against the gang, if it's a low level one, you get soft candy, which means they stab you in your non-vital areas, your arms, your legs, your things like that.
Your baby toe.
If you do something that truly offends the gang, then in that situation they're going to give you some hard candy, and hard candy is they're going to try and kill you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It is really fascinating, the level of politics.
Oh yeah, and the rules, yeah, all the shit. It's nuts.
They really,
and it's all about respect, and it's all about order.
yeah, they obey more of that than they do in society.
Yeah, well, that's because I'm not.
That is a hell of a drug.
Yeah,
Well, I guess it's probably the only thing that they're able to control, I guess, right?
that's one of the few things. Yeah, and they can, to be fair, they can get drugs in prison. That's not a problem at all.
Yeah. What happens when, let me rephrase. So a client gets sentenced and obviously they hear the sentencing. Are they instructed to try to maintain themselves, like compose themselves and not showing a reaction
Sentencing.
at sentencing or during trial? or
Well, I mean, during trial, they always say, and it's fucking weird. Like, this is the thing. I was watching something, I guess 3 girls in Texas a couple of months or weeks ago, like, killed another woman. They're all like 19, 20 years old. And I think it was like some love triangle type shit that, sisters got involved in or whatever. But they were like, oh, and these girls are laughing as they're being arrested. And it's like, you don't know the conversation that happened. Like, it might be totally random and not regarding the charges at all. You just see them smiling. And so we're going to judge them a certain way. And the same thing I always tell people when they're in trial, defendants, I always say, like, look, man, this is a TV show and everybody's looking at you. Even when you don't think they're looking at you, they're looking at you.
yeah.
But if you have somebody who's stoic, who doesn't show a lot of emotion, does that mean they don't care, or that's just their personality? And then there are other people who deal with things in other fashions. And so, in my opinion, people look at people a certain way when they're seated in that defendant seat and form assumptions that aren't necessarily true. And so I try to tell them, don't speak out, don't be ignorant, don't say stupid shit, because they'll hold that against you. But beyond that, if somebody's stoic or if they smile, like, what's the appropriate, response? And no matter what you do, they're going to attribute it with what's in their own head as opposed to what's actually going on.
Well, that trial that we sat in recently with you, the guy you were defending was leaning back in his chair and laughing and kind of seemed like he was joking during the time. But that's, again, it's our perception. But then, like, we were thinking, well, what's the jury thinking?
Yeah.
Well, if it's your perception, that's what generally the jury's thinking. Because if you're just watching a trial and you're looking at everyone's mannerisms, how they react to certain things, that's what the jury's thinking.
Yeah. Interesting.
Let's say real quick, we're hitting about an hour. Do you guys want to stay with like the prison stuff for the film episode? Did you guys want to talk about like other things regarding like subbets? They is maybe like personal injury stuff.
Yeah, that's it. That stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say this is some stuff that we got here.
Okay, so switching off from prison life and prison lifestyle and politics, we're gonna go in and talk about things that are happening here in Las Vegas. So Nevada just made a DUI way more expensive and not in just fines. It looks like Nevada's 26 laws, Safe Streets Act AB4 raised DUI with death up to 25 years, toughened weed marijuana DUI, and doubled penalties in school zones. Are you guys aware of those, or do you guys follow up on those types of like updated laws?
I mean, yeah, but like, it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like,
Doesn't change the facts of it.
yeah,
Or
double penalties in school zones. They've always done that. It's just an added element. They have to show that this occurred within a school zone. School was in session during the time that occurred. Things of that nature.
So speaking on that, I'm gonna cut.
All right, say that's a personal story. Ain't you
I
about?
was going to touch on this.
Yeah.
So if the school light is on and it's summer, so there's no school in session, and you get a sister.
Summer school.
There's no summer school
Okay.
and no school in session at all, but the school lights on or no children are present or whatever, and you get a ticket. Can you fight that?
Yeah.
Into it being dismissed, or just into like a
So you got a ticket? You didn't tell us. Okay.
no, not at all.
Is it the dawn?
On our commute to work every morning, there is a school zone flashing light that we had never seen until the summer. And there's no
So you're talking one like?
cactus
Yeah.
Yeah.
next to the crosswalk, pedestrian crosswalk.
Mm.
It's every morning it's flashing and there's nobody around.
Oh no, and those cops sit there.
Oh, we know.
Sit
That's,
there.
that's, I have made it.
oh, that's above me. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know exactly.
Nothing is above you, Jess.
So we were just
Everything
we had a thought this morning, which is funny. So that's why I wanted to ask.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's one of the things that, yeah, you can fight that. It's like, in construction zones, penalties are doubled as well, but the construction has to be active. They have to be doing it, so those are things they have to prove. Now, in terms of DUI with the criminal, penalties going up and like from a personal injury standpoint, it doesn't necessarily matter. One of the things is, and both in criminal and in personal injury, you can actually get a DUI and be the victim. meaning that somebody rear ends you, you're drunk, you never showed any signs, you didn't do anything. But when the cops get to the scene, they're like, "You been drinking?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you're in pain, you just got rear ended. Clearly, you're not at fault. But, oh, by the way, you were drinking, so we're going to arrest you. Happens more often than you think.
So then what was the toughening the law? What does that actually do? Is that supposed to just scare people? Or
Well, they do it as a deterrent. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me the Sun Cruiser.
Whatever.
I'm not sure.
Whatever.
It all goes in the same place, bro.
The butthole.
My pee-pee.
All right. So,
So you said, like I said, it. What did you say? Sorry, repeat that last time.
no, just that, like, you can be not at fault. You can be the victim.
Yeah, well, still, and the tougher laws part is
Trying to break that.
deterrent.
Of that.
Whenever the
I did two things, I think, that Wiggle and Cheryl
try to,
Say it again.
whenever the state amends or changes laws to make it harsher, the main reason is
deterrent.
Yeah.
And it never actually deterred people.
Yeah. Just like the death penalty.
On a
Not-
PI standpoint, if you are hit by a DUI driver, does their insurance still cover it since they are breaking the law at the time?
Yeah. No, that covers it. Hey, you want to hear my Filipino joke? Mama bear, baby bear, daddy bear in a car. Who's driving? The dry bear. The dry bear.
I like Uber.
Do you want to hear my Filipino joke? What do you call a man on the moon?
Oh, this is terrible.
Call a moon guy.
Exactly.
How do you not get that?
What's Kalamun God?
What's call a moon guy? Yes.
Is that food?
Yeah, sauce. Yeah. It's a fish sauce, right?
This fucking guy.
Isn't it funny? When you call a man on the moon,
A fish.
call a moon guy.
You call him fish sauce.
It's a Filipino joke.
I don't get it.
Filipino.
And he's not Filipino.
I like the dry bear. Dry bear's funny.
However, he's been learning asana.
Sana sana colita de rana, sino sana hoy, sarana mañana.
Anthony doesn't. He's a no sabo. He doesn't know what that means.
It's a little riddle you tell kids when they get injured. They get a little boo. You rub them and say
Can thing.
something about frogs' butts.
Anyways,
I don't feel comfortable with just rubbing little kids. I just want to point that out.
I think it was frog's butt.
Oh, well, he was saying you rub the little kid and tell him about frog's butts.
You did.
Don't knock it till you try it.
You're like that fucking CCSD volleyball coach.
Damn.
They say that while they're rubbing RH on the.
Oh, yeah.
yes. So I want to ask you guys, what's the worst DUI case you guys have ever represented, or have sat across from and seen?
You know, it's funny. I haven't, like, to be fair, we don't really hold our. And what's funny is, like, they did a study back in the day of the person who has the most reckless driving convictions for DUIs, meaning you got a lesser charge, in the city of Las Vegas, and I fucking smoked everybody in it. Mostly because I was a public attorney, so I got more cases than anybody else. But when it comes to, like, marketing and stuff like that, Jess and I don't really do a lot of. You used to way back in the day.
Way back in the day, yeah.
We don't hold ourselves out to be DUI, like, experts, even though we definitely are. But so we don't do a lot of felonies. I had one where a guy ran into a guy on a motorcycle, and guy went this way, and guy's leg went that way. I had one of those. What other ones have I seen?
Yeah, I can't.
I had one where a guy got drunk. He was like a total Boy Scout, like just graduated from college, volunteer firefighter, like, you know, Opie Cunningham type.
Yeah.
And he came to Vegas to celebrate, and he fell asleep. I think his blood alcohol was like 1.5, which is not really that high when it comes to DUIs. But he went off the road and he hit a girl who was at a bus stop. But she broke her leg, but she was fine. But I haven't had any, like,
I can't remember.
crazy ass DUI.
I had one that was kind of funny where the guy crashed into Eggs and I. What's that? What's that brick?
Egg and I.
Egg and I. And he ran with the car was still mobile, so he drove off, but his bumper fell off along with his license. So that was kind of funny.
They'll never know.
Yeah, he was like, I got away with it. You left your bumper, bro.
And here,
And your license plate.
Well,
so they
more recently, wasn't it the guy that his pregnant girlfriend died in the accident? And it was 11 or 13 cars involved.
I don't know. Was that a DUI or that guy was just like
But
he went?
I thought
like-
they had smoked weed prior.
Was that a real one? We're talking about the one on like Charleston.
Look that up.
There was just like he crashed.
Like 90 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that it was in Las Vegas. It was like a 18-car park
A
lot.
lot. It was a
I think there was 2 deaths.
Including
including his pregnant girl.
his pregnant girlfriend.
I think it was 25. Was it 25? Or 20?
25. It was last year.
It was real recent.
I think it was last year. But
Yeah, this is the one.
yeah.
Is the one where the dude did it on purpose? Or
Yeah.
But was he under the influence?
I think they said that he had smoked weed prior. That was one of his defense.
Who is this? Is Tommy?
I don't know.
I think Tommy has this case. But yeah, I don't know anything about the case itself. I know I heard that he was trying to. He didn't want the baby. I mean, this could just be rumors, but one of the allegations were that he did it on purpose because he didn't want to have the kid. So he wanted to cause an accident to cause a miscarriage kind of thing. I don't know if that's true. That's something I heard in the
Oh my
ether.
God, look at those cars.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was,
Angles.
all these cars were stopped at a red light, and this guy went like 90 into all of them.
We were at lunch the other day on Monday, right? Yeah, we were at lunch on Monday, and Mexican families getting in their Camry or whatever. Was it a Camry? There's a Toyota.
It was in a
Yeah. Oh, you weren't there. I was gonna say. No, yeah, but they were getting in their car, and these 2 guys come up and fucking carjack them, like whip out a gun.
Robbed them and carjacked
You
them.
saw this?
No, we didn't see it, but what happened was
See what happened?
pull out of the fucking parking lot to get away, right?
Never pull out.
And so they're speeding and they're driving like dumbasses to get away, and they're trying to take a right. And there's a fucking like 2-ton work truck, and just nails. Where was this?
and we heard
At the Mexican joint on Las Vegas Boulevard, right north of Fremont Street,
Cordelia. Oh no,
Carajillo.
I don't think he's been.
Oh, is it in the Jewel? Not the Jewel.
No, that's
It's outside.
What's that?
the one Dan used to live in, right?
Yeah. What is that called? Ogden? What's that?
No.
Ogden.
It is
You're right.
Ogden?
Ogden.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, no. So it was right by the Ogden, but like, so these dudes just fucking 2-ton work truck just hits him, totally crushes it.
right outside the restaurant
Yeah.
waiting at.
Airbags go off. Like, so this poor family's watching their car. They just got robbed. They just got jacked. Guy pulls out, hits him. Passenger in the car is so fucked up, he can't go anywhere. His face is all swollen up and shit. But of course, the guy who jacked him gets out of the car, whoop, takes off. Yeah.
Crazy. When you're high like that,
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like DUI.
body doesn't tense up.
Yeah. But and so you're this poor fucking family. You just got robbed, and then you watched your car get totaled.
Like, hit me while I'm down.
I know that's.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Like, all of our heads picked up too. We heard it, and everybody goes, "That was an accident."
I didn't even hear it.
No, you were on the other side.
Yeah.
Oh, that text you sent.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
How does
Not
the
a-
shows play out? That's something.
Well, technically, like for the people in the car, the jackers, there's no coverage, okay, because you stole the car. However, I hope they had more than liability. If they had more than liability, they should get the amount of their car back.
So my whole question was, so does the passenger in the carjacked car, can he go after UIM?
No,
Would he have?
no, he could not. And here's the other thing: the carjacked car that the 2-ton, because the 2-ton work truck, huge truck, right? It got fucked up too. Like the whole grill was just gone. And those guys, they can't go after that insurance because it's a stolen car. And so the only thing they can do, and hopefully because it was work truck, hopefully they're on the job, so you have workers' comp. Like that would be the route you would have to go in that situation. But yeah,
That sucks. Well,
yeah, that was nuts.
switching over, we're gonna just do case or no case. All right.
This will be like a quick hit one real quick. I'm gonna jump over some of these other ones just to let you guys know. Like we had one about bouncy house. Well, I don't know if you guys saw that. Kid died in bouncy house.
No.
Here?
No shit.
I think Bert's kid, like Bo, like I think
They had him. Well, yeah. Cut that out. Don't put that out.
he was about house and it started to fly away.
No shit.
Yeah. I mean, they got it beforehand. What?
I said we could talk about it if you guys want.
Oh, I mean, it's up to you.
It's up to you. So, yeah, what you're reading. So basically, what happened is bounce house laws whenever it's going to force operators to carry $1 million of insurance and a safety logbook because a child died with an inflatable balloon of power lines.
Holy shit. So strap that shit down. Imagine that death, though. Oof. Just get fried in a bounce house?
Happy birthday.
I didn't know that they have to have insurance.
Every marina.
To be fair, like, I'm shocked that they had to put in a law for bounce houses to carry a commercial policy. I would just assume
You would think that they would have to have it.
yeah. Like, I would think as a course of business you'd want to have it, right? But
Wow.
damn.
Oh my God. That's insane.
But imagine all the Facebook bounce houses.
Yeah.
Really?
There's our Facebook. Yeah, people go on Facebook all the time.
No shit. Damn, dude.
So like,
Yeah, bounce houses are just like,
in that case, then, so like if you get hurt inside a bounce house, just bouncing yourself, you don't have a case.
well, here's the thing. Because most bounce houses are run by like people who do it as a second income, you know. It's not necessarily like a real
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, it's like a little side hustle.
But like, how many of those people actually have people sign waivers?
Mhm.
You know, you ever go into a bounce house and say, think about this.
Especially at like a birthday party.
Yeah, 100%. So there's an assumption of the risk argument you would have had they signed a waiver. Like, you are assuming the risk of participating in a dangerous activity. But if you're not having them sign the waiver, the risk. Just saying.
But so let's say I rent Sage, I rent to her my bounce house. I have her sign a waiver, but then she has 10 kids in that bounce house.
I would sue her. I would sue her homeowners or rental policy, and I would sue you. And
So her signing the waiver does not cover the children in the bounce.
No, and I'd probably sue the parents who caused my kid to get the.
Yeah, there's a big misconception on waivers, man. That does not work.
Yeah. You can sign a waiver all day long, but it doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
If you're negligent in your operation,
So what does a waiver actually do?
well, it gives you a basic layer.
General.
Yeah.
General. But
Deters
Yeah.
people because they're like, well, I signed a waiver.
For instance, we have a case that is in lit now with the Cowabunga Bay where they make you sign a waiver, but then they didn't follow their policies and procedures while they were in the water slide area.
if it exceeds the scope,
Yeah,
it is a
so
waiver.
our client goes flying off the bounce house and hits the concrete. You know, it doesn't matter that she signed a waiver assuming the risk. If you didn't follow your policies and procedures while in there, you were negligently operating your ride, and so you're still liable, waiver or not.
So if, hypothetically speaking, you were at a Jones house
Sages per store.
and you broke your ankle at a jumping house and you signed a waiver, you could potentially sue.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors that go into it. Is there supervision? How are you jumping? Were you jumping in a fashion that was reckless? Yeah.
Now, are you talking a bounce house or are you talking a trampoline?
Trampoline.
Oh,
I'm talking about a trampoline park.
once when I was in high school back in the 40s, there was we were at a buddy's house in a trampoline, and you know when you can launch somebody?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't intend to launch this girl, but I launched her straight up in the air. It was a backyard, and they had like railroad ties for the like gardening and stuff. Man, that girl hit that railroad tie right on her collarbone. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, that would have been bad, but she was fine.
He didn't intend to.
Just move 5 Anthony.
Well, I was just saying because I obviously both
Holiday.
go. So I was just saying it. Back in the day, I should have done something. I literally just walked through the doors. We just signed the waivers, and I just bounced, and I bounced again, and
Did your mom take you to the fucking orthodontic office to x-ray your ankle?
no. But I did go to the hospital. I went to the hospital, and they splinted my ankle like this, how it was broken. So they splinted it like this.
They did
instead of
put it in a
fixing it-
neutral position.
instead of fixing it into the neutral position. And so now when I relax my foot, it just naturally
why you walk
that.
with a limp too?
No, I don't want
No, that's like they're on a friend. Yeah.
So interesting.
No.
But yeah. Interesting. Anyways. Okay, I guess we're gonna be talking about some fight nights. McGregor
I'm
back in
I'm
Vegas.
excited about this fight.
So
I'm excited.
are the bar fights because I feel like McGregor fans are
Why? Because he's Irish? McGregor. Fucking.
no, just his personality.
It's not Hawaii. It could be Hawaii fans. Yeah, it's probably more Hawaii.
So, because of the McGregor versus Holloway at T-Mobile July 11th,
The old
it's
man.
gonna be a packed.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah. Yeah.
Tomorrow is
Oh, it's the 11th.
Oh, Saturday. Saturday.
So it's gonna be a packed fight, which means spiked assaults, ejections, casino security incidents.
Especially if the Diaz brothers are in town.
As a criminal defense and negligent security PI in the same breath.
Very Vegas,
Very Vegas, very now. I don't know what that means, but so if you get sucker punched at a casino or bar on fight night, is this a criminal case, a lawsuit against a casino, or both?
Both.
I don't think you're supposed to say all in the same breath. I think you're just supposed to read it.
It's
criminal defense plus
bunch of
minus security.
and then leave exit no.
Well, we just like, I don't get it.
Here's the thing. Whenever you're at a casino and something happens where you get punched, shit like that, there's always going to be a lawsuit about negligent security. Yes. It's the nature of the business. You know, did you know that guy was going to do something like that? Or, you know,
You should have been on notice that there's going to be a lot of drinks, a lot of people watching a aggressive sporting event.
yeah.
You should have known to have extra security because of their lack of providing extra security. Potentially the casino,
And
wherever you
feels in a situation where like people are getting rowdy throughout the night and there are other fights that happened before and stuff like that. And it builds to you eventually getting popped. Like, yeah.
So I know fighters have. So fighters are different. Professional fighters are different. They're not able to physically fight outside, right? Or
Well, that whole thing about you have to register. Yeah. It's just belly whipping. It does not sense. But the thing is are they held to a higher standard? Yes. Theoretically, do they have money so you can sue them? Problem solved. 100 bum. But like I've had 2 instances with fighters where it kind of made me giggle. One time I was walking in Town Square and Wanderlei Silva was on a 10-speed bike, biking aggressively and almost hit me and then was threatening me.
he had the best front. What is this little muscle called? The front muscle, trash shoulders.
your delts,
Oh yeah, that's a Chinos.
Wow, look at that. Yeah, your front delts, right?
right?
Right here.
Yeah, your front delt. Mhm.
He had the best front delts ever.
That's the oddest thing I've ever heard.
Sorry.
But no, it was.
Jess is like, pull it up.
No, pull up his pictures.
But yeah, no, but like
He had some amazing front delts.
so Wanderlei Silva's giving me in his fucking Brazilian rough English attitude, and I'm like, dude, I know who you are. You're not gonna fucking hit me because then I'm gonna sue the shit out of you.
Wanderlei.
I kick your ass.
Wanderlei.
But so there was that one, and then another time, like back when Chuck Liddell was in his prime, he was out here for a fight, and this was probably 20 years ago. He was with his wife or his girlfriend, whatever she was at the time, and one of my buddies bumped her, and you know, Chuck didn't necessarily like that too much. But once he calmed down, he was actually a super nice guy. But yeah, like Wanderlei was just Chepley's asshole,
He's a Greek.
but Liddell was very, very cool.
I do.
That's my start of my fandom, was watching Chuck Liddell.
Yeah, but yeah, that could have gotten really rough. You know, you can only apologize so much to a dudes.
First.
And I do. Did you guys see the Justin? Is it Justin Poirier?
Justin Gaethje versus
No.
But she's talking about Poirier got drunk.
Yeah, he got dropped when he was trying to fight the airport employee.
Yeah, front
And-
desk and a
And he's like, he's a UFC fighter. He's like, nah. He's like, you want to fight? And he's like, nah, bro, nah. Like, I'm.
If you watch his apology, Joe, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, well, no.
He kind of explains why.
Is a good, like, you know. At least he was man enough to.
But that cop wanted
But-
nothing.
Yeah.
He wanted nothing for doesn't support it. I would make a brag of lightning. Oh, man.
Well, that's what he did when he told the officer when he was recording. He was like, he's a UFC fighter.
Yeah.
Like, so
Or he doesn't point it. He's like, and what? Or he had some response, and the cop was like, no, man, I'm good.
yeah.
Right, here it is.
Right now. No, I don't want to fight, bro. How about with your answer? I don't want to fight. Let's go. I do like many. It's lime.
He's like, I don't want no part of that.
Always miss you. Prayer. Now we're.
No, I don't want to fight, bro.
My gosh.
What sucks for him is like you have one of those episodes, and obviously he's got demons tied to his dad, the drink past and stuff like that. But like he lost a couple of major sponsors because of that.
Oh yeah, a lot. And they lost a lot of money. Yeah, a lot of money on that little video right there.
Well,
Fuck around and find out.
and their apologies are also their agents going, you need
you
public
get your shit right.
But I think he did a smart thing. He went on some kind of podcast and his apology seemed sincere, and he kind of went into the background of why this episode happened. And it kind of, you got to think, these guys are all human. You know, even though he's a famous fighter, he's still human, and he's still going through daily issues.
And how many people are trying to punk them anyway, just because
No,
they are, you know?
I mean, I represented War Machine back in the day too. War Machine, and honestly, like crazy. Most of the guys when the UFC first started, these guys are all college grads. You know, they're all usually college wrestlers, right?
Yeah.
Like War Machine was like a smart dude and a fucking moron at the same time. Like I can't explain it, but like he was very educated. And he was an intelligent man.
Common sense.
But literally one of the dumbest motherfuckers you ever in your life.
I think I might have covered you on some of his hearings, but yeah, that guy.
He was a
cool dude, but you could tell
yeah.
there was something missing.
Yeah.
What's your guys' prediction of the Holloway versus McGregor fight?
Always good.
Roy Holloway.
Would rather McGregor win, especially with this guy. What the fuck? Because he runs his mouth, because he's lying. I would rather, but McGregor's been he's
been gone for like 6 years, 5 years, and his last 2 fights he got destroyed.
like broke his leg.
The fight before that, I think Poirier knocked him out, right?
I don't remember.
It was 2 back-to-back Poirier close, right?
So that's a Poirier knocked him out the first fight. Second fight,
He broke his leg.
McGregor broke his leg.
But it's also like you remember when
But he did fight Ryan Gosling. Well, wait.
Jake Gyllenhaal, bro, and Jake Gyllenhaal.
Roadhouse. He did fight Jake Gyllenhaal. Gyllenhaal, and he looked good.
No, but what was it like? What's his name?
I'm
Who's the
team
spider?
Filet.
Spider
Anderson Silva.
Anderson Silva. Like remember he was a stud. Nobody could touch him. But then he broke his leg.
And that was a nasty.
Oh yeah, that.
But no. He got knocked out before he broke his leg.
That was the fight before.
He got knocked out by what's his name? Weidman. Yeah.
Yeah, he got knocked out by Weidman, but then he broke his leg.
Yeah.
And he was never.
And then he was gone. Yeah.
You know, and so like with McGregor,
Well, that's such a gross picture, man.
yeah.
I remember watching this when I had a bar back in Hawaii. This was playing, and I remember watching this live, and his leg wrapped around Weidman's leg.
Oh,
So gross.
just this little plug. When I owned a bar in Hawaii,
I owned a bar in Hawaii.
it was located at.
Here's the address. Watch his leg wrap around. It's like his toes hit his own shin. That's so gross.
And like look at him on the reaction.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's like when you get grapes in the nuts.
Oh yeah.
It's like 10 seconds before he hits where realize your leg is over.
Don't wait to stand back.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened with McGregor. Remember, he took a step back
Yeah.
and he just crumbled. Oh, it's so gross, man.
How's that? We were supposed to spar on.
Who? Oh, you told me about this. Yeah, you're supposed to spar McGregor.
Yeah.
It never happened.
No.
He wanted more money.
Was like complications and stuff. It was a buy.
So
What do you think? You're into the fighting.
Holloway for sure.
You're just saying that because you're mad at McGregor, Doug.
Past like 2 matches, no?
Was that?
Hasn't Holloway lost like 2 matches?
Yeah, he looked really bad in that last one where he got his ass kicked.
Oh, Oliver. Yeah, but that's not a BMF fight. I'm still pissed at that fight.
But still, like, he by Oliveira too.
Well, he lost to Oliveira. He beat Gaethje.
He beat Gage, right?
Was that after or before Topuria? Did he go Gaethje, Topuria?
Only if you had something you could tell us.
Oh, the interwebs. There you go. Oh, yeah. Loss, win, loss. Oh, yeah. Poirier was in the middle down. That was a pretty good fight. But the thing is, he's been active for the last, 20 years. McGregor took 6 years off.
Yeah, but dude, you know who else was active for 20 years? Oh, BJ Penn.
Oh, we don't speak about VJ, man. That's a sensitive subject. That's one of the greatest fights ever. That's the great.
I'm like, I bet against him because I'm like, he doesn't look like he knows how to fight. But then he fights, he talking wins, but he does that fun little drunken stumble, catch you with like the back, like he throws like that put to like just grab your head, and you think he's actually hooking you, and then just uppercuts to like real low, and it looks like shit, but
It's like the drunken monkey style.
yeah, it's like crazy.
Who Holloway?
No, Keiichi.
Yeah, he's very unorthodox.
But I can't believe that is that why I see hands before y'all.
It looked because even the fight is important. It looked like Tabora was like an actual athlete fighter. Tabora, and it looked like Gaethje's like some like your drunk uncle that put
The guy at the bar that
on your fucking ass. Yeah.
So I want to kind of touch on fighting. So when you're in public, you get in an altercation with somebody. Can you claim self-defense? When does that self-defense?
Well, there's a famous line a president said it back in the day, like 1800s, when Jess was born. That said, he said something to the effect of my right or your right to swing your fist ends at my face. I mean, you can do things, but as soon as you touch me, you know, it's a problem. And so
That reminds me of Rocky like 5, when that guy that was not dunking, he's like, touch me and I'll shoot. Touch me and I'll shoot.
I gave up on Rocky after.
I played when both people agreed to fight each other in bathroom, man.
Usual combat. You can't mutually agree to
He
commit
just likes that one fucking video of him like choking out a retard.
Oh, in the bathroom, yeah.
Out in Sierra Vista.
Yeah.
Or off of Sierra Vista's campus. It was off. Mm-hmm.
But
And then getting like 30 polys to want to kick his ass.
yeah, because I guess it's really more of because can't you get charged with assault,
For what?
fighting,
Yeah. Well, battery. Yeah.
battery, and then but like that's what I'm saying. Like so, we get in a fight, but you started it, and I get charged.
Are you trying to say how do you claim self-defense?
Yeah.
You can also claim mayhem too.
Mayhem. Ooh, I love that. I love that charge, man.
It's a charge essentially inciting a riot type that stuff.
To claim self-defense, you have to be one, defending yourself from a threat that is imminent, and it has to be equal force.
Yeah.
So like I think we touched about this.
For instance, we could remember my daughter, like how
Yes.
my daughter has a boyfriend. She's a freshman in high school. Love her to death. She has a boyfriend. Her boyfriend, like it's been good kid, been together like 9 months or whatever. But his ex-girlfriend got one of her little hood rat friends to like threaten my dog.
Yeah.
And my daughter's pretty fucking tough.
Yeah.
And she's tall. She's like 5'7". And so this girl's maybe like 5 feet, you know, like 90 pounds. And my daughter would have whooped her ass. But my daughter's also like super into school and like kind of a rule follower. And so this girl's like, I'm going to kick your ass, and like threatening her. And she's doing it in front of like the ROTC guy.
Yeah.
And so as soon as the ROTC guy steps in, like the little one goes all spider monkey and tries to like climb all over the ROTC guy. To get to my daughter's like, I'm not fighting it.
Yeah.
Now in that situation, had spider monkey gotten over the ROTC guy and like took a swing at my daughter would have been well within her rights to give her a lick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That was like my question. So just good to know. You know,
For future.
future references. I think are we good? You guys want to keep going?
No, we're good.
I think that was
Outro. Where's the outro?
No, we have to do the would you and then we're out. Or are we just doing the outro?
Oh yeah.
It's up to you. We could just do the outro. We have a bunch of stuff we're not, and then this one's
All right.
Okay. Perfect.
All right, that's the show. Real stories, real verdicts, and yeah, Ben made some bets he's gonna regret.
Just roll the outro, bro.
Just skip all that.
We'll see you next.
It's gonna say, I bet you I'm gonna whoop his ass. All right, guys, thank you for coming to From the Beach to the Bar. This was the Jackass episode, I guess. We had a good time. Thank you for watching us. Remember, Matsuda Knitting will get you fixed. Look much great. Bye.